Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about an introduction to the Cartesian plane as part of linear relationships. So let's get into it. What is the Cartesian plane? Well, the Cartesian plane is basically two number planes that are crossed over each other. We call the horizontal one the x-axis, and we call the vertical one the y-axis. Now, this makes 4 equal quadrants. And we'll get into quadrants a little bit later. But each quadrant is 90 degrees. Now, by the end of this video, you should be able to graph from coordinates that are given onto the Cartesian plane. And then if there are already coordinates on the Cartesian plane, you should be able to identify what those coordinates are. Let's go through and do a few examples so that it makes sense to you. Now, before I begin, there is a rule that we use when graphing or plotting on the Cartesian plane, and that is crawl before you climb. Now, what does that mean? Let's look at the steps that we have to do. Step number 1, start at 0, 0. Now, 0, 0 is right in the middle there. That's where we start. Then we look at the first number and we crawl on the x-axis. So we'll look at the first number and we'll crawl either to the left or to the right. So in this case, left hops are negative and right hops are positive numbers. Once we're there, then we climb on the y-axis. We'll either climb positive numbers up or climb negative numbers down. Let's go through what we're talking about here. Let's look at the red dot that we have here. So let's say that the numbers were not given. Let's erase the numbers there. And let's say we had to write down the coordinates of that dot. Well, the first thing we'll do is we'll start at 0, 0 and we'll crawl. We're going to crawl to where it stops on the x-axis. So 1 hop, 2 hop, 3 hop, 4 hop. So the first number is 4. When we're at 4, how much do we climb? Well, we climb 5 hops up. So the coordinate of that dot there is 4, 5, where x is always the first number and y is always the second number. Let's look at the green dot now. Let's follow the same steps. Start at 0, 0, crawl on the x-axis, -1, -2, -3. So the first number there is -3, which is the x coordinate. And it's matching y coordinate. How much do we have to climb? Well, we have to climb down to -9. And that's its y coordinate. Let's do a few examples of writing down the coordinates when we don't know what they are. So let's look at dot A. Starting at 0, 0, we crawl to -1. So the first number on this is going to be -1. And then when we're at -1, we climb to 1. So its coordinates are -1 and 1. Let's go on to an example B. Example B, there. Start at 0, 0. We're going to crawl to 4. So the first numbers there are going to be 4. And then we're going to climb from 4 to -3. So the y coordinate is going to be -3. Hopefully you're getting the hang of this. Let's look at example C. With example C, we start at 0. We're going to crawl to 7 because that's where that dot line, crawl to 8. The line meets up at 8. And we're going to climb from 8 all the way down to -8. And we have our XY coordinates of all of our 3 plots that we have there. Now, I have a few questions for you guys to do. Pause the video, try the questions out, and then come back and check if you got the right answers. You will have to practice this a bit. You probably won't get it on the first go, so don't stress if you don't. Watch the video again and try it again, and hopefully you'll get it. There's the recommended answers. Hopefully you understood how to plot on a Cartesian plane, how to read from a Cartesian plane, and how to label dots that are already on the Cartesian plane. If you had any problems, go watch the video again. Hopefully it'll make sense. Till next time, take care guys.